Like pretty much all critical infrastructure and industries in the US and around the world, railroads rely on computer software and hardware to operate. So when that technology fails or goes down, it can cause serious problems. That's what happened to Norfolk Southern on Monday, August 28, 2023. But what exactly are we talking about here? What stopped working and caused some aspects of railroad operations to shut down on that Monday? Well, here's what Norfolk Southern said in a press release that came out on Monday evening. NS said it, quote, experienced a hardware-related technology outage that impacted rail operations. Furthermore, the railroad said it had restored all systems by 7 p.m. Eastern, but it said the impact to operations was expected to last at least a couple of weeks. The company also said it had, quote, no indication that this was a cybersecurity incident. So I would interpret that to mean that Norfolk Southern does not think its systems were hacked. If you didn't know, the company's headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia. In this building, there's a huge room called the Network Operations Center, or NOC. This is where NS dispatches its entire rail network. Here, dispatchers sit at various desks that control Norfolk Southern territories and trains all over the eastern U.S. And I'm not just talking about freight trains. Amtrak runs on a lot of Norfolk Southern's territory. Several posts on the Amtrak Alerts X account show passenger trains delayed by this outage. Some commuter railroads also had to delay or cancel trains. So what exactly went down during this event? Well, I got some information from folks with first-hand knowledge of what happened. I learned at times dispatchers lost the ability to route trains and to see where those trains were on the tracks through track circuits. Fortunately, there are fail-safes and alternative operating procedures that exist to prevent accidents. I was also told at one point yards were unable to build trains. Unrelated to that, PTC, or Positive Train Control, also stopped working. According to the Federal Railroad Administration, PTC systems are, quote, designed to prevent train-to-train collisions, overspeed derailments, incursions into established work zones, and movements of trains through switches left in the wrong position. From what I've been told, an all-stop was eventually issued to trains network-wide after more signaling issues began to develop on Monday afternoon. Okay, so how does Norfolk Southern run its railroad? Well, the answer to that is complicated, but I'll give you a very brief and basic overview. Like other Class 1 railroads in the US and Canada, they use something called centralized traffic control. Brian Solomon's book, Railroad Signaling, defines CTC as, quote, an interlocked remote control system that allows a dispatcher to direct train movements over a railway line by signal indication. As I mentioned earlier, NS dispatchers all work at the company headquarters in Atlanta. Those employees use computer-aided dispatching, or CAD software. This photo, available for download on Norfolk Southern's website, shows us the Network Operations Center and what's on a dispatcher's screen. Basically, diagrams of the track in their territory. With this, they can do things like route trains, set up meets, and allow one train to pass another. The software can also assist with these tasks. Track circuits allow dispatchers to see if lines are occupied. This is made possible by electrically bonding rails together. Out here, the main line is divided into blocks. A safety feature of this system is that a train will have a red signal if the block ahead of it is occupied. At places like junctions, diverging tracks, crossovers, or where one track crosses over another, signals controlled by dispatchers are interlocked with turnouts and other signals. This ensures that if one route is lined for a train, another train will not be able to travel over a conflicting route, preventing accidents. These interlocked areas are known as control points. Radios are also used for verbal communications between dispatchers and train crews. Okay, so that's a very brief look at how things work on a normal day out on the main line. I know I've left various systems and a lot of the intricacies of dispatching out. Of course, systems would eventually begin to come back up on August 28th and things would slowly get back to normal. I'm sure this was an unpleasant experience for everyone involved, but I'm not aware of any accidents that resulted from it. On September 1st, 2023, Norfolk Southern said it had done a root cause analysis of the system outage. According to NS, its data system is, quote, manufactured and maintained by a leading global technology provider. During a routine maintenance procedure being performed by our vendor, a defect in their software created an error which caused both our primary and recovery data storage systems to become unresponsive. This in turn affected our core operational systems. We are working closely with the vendor to understand the steps they are taking to strengthen their systems to prevent this incident from reoccurring and identify opportunities for Norfolk Southern to become more resilient. In this press release, NS went on to say that there was still no evidence of this being a cybersecurity incident and that they expect a recovery of network fluidity in the coming weeks. I reached out to the NTSB about this incident and they said they would not be investigating. Oftentimes, events like these lead to positive changes that make systems better than they were before. Let's hope that's the case here.